Okay, today in class we learned how to graph systems of inequalities. To graph a system of inequalities, the first thing that you need to do is solve for y. If there is no y, solve for x. Then you're going to graph each inequality one at a time and shade the region. When you graph each inequality, you'll have it solved for y. And it'll look something like this. If the inequality shades this direction, or if it opens up, it'll say y is greater than. Remember that we shade above. And if it opens up this way, y is less than, we shade below. And you want it in this form so you can identify the slope and the intercept. Okay, the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to darken the overlapping area, and this is the solution. So if you had a graph like this and you shaded above, and you had one like this and it shaded above, then this would become the overlapping region, and that would be the solution. If there is no overlapping, for example, if you had parallel lines, and this one shaded above and this one shaded below, then because there is no overlapping, there would be no solution. Okay, so let's try some examples. The first one says graph this system of inequalities, and we have x is greater than 2, so we go over to 2 on the x and we create a solid line because it is equal, and it says x is greater than, so we would shade greater than 2. The second line we have to solve for y, so we subtract x. It gives you y is less than or equal to negative x plus 3. Here you can identify the slope is negative 1 over 1. The y-intercept is 3. So to graph that, I'm going to change colors. And this says that we go up 3, and then we're down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. It's a solid line because we have that greater than or equal to, or sorry, less than or equal to, and because it is less than, we would shade below. And so the actual overlapping area, which is our solution, would be this area right here. And I have the luxury of erasing it, but if you'll just make that overlapping area really dark, we'll be okay. What this means is that if I were to choose a point, say right here, and ask if this was a solution, we would say no because it's not part of the overlapping area. Would this be a solution? No, it's not part of the overlapping area. Would this point here, call it A? This one would be, as well as any point on the line, or this line would be a solution. But if it's not within the overlapping area, like example N here, W, X, and P, none of those would be solutions. Okay, our second example, you're going to again solve for y in the top equation. To solve for y, we're going to subtract x. I'll do it right here. That leaves you with negative 2y is less than or equal to negative x plus 3. You'll want to divide by negative 2 to both sides. And when you divide by that negative, it flips the inequality. You're left with 1/2 x minus 3/2. From there, you can identify your slope is 1/2. Your y-intercept is negative 3/2, or negative 1.5. So to graph that, we go down 1.5, and then we use our slope up 1 over 2. Come on. Up 1 over 2, or down 1 back 2, and we graph this as a solid line. And then we would shade, it tells us that y is greater than, so we would shade above. Okay, for our second line, y is already solved for, so you can already pick out the slope. The slope is 3 over 1. And the y-intercept is negative 4. So we go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our slope is up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, and we have a dashed line. The inequality reads y is greater than, so we would shade above. And then we need to darken that overlapping area. So where they overlap would be from here on over. So I can erase these portions and these ones, and that would show you that overlapping region. Okay, our last one, the top equation, y is already solved for. So we will identify the slope is negative 2, the y-intercept is 4. So we start up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go down 2, forward 1, down 2, forward 1. We have a dashed line because it is not equal to, and the inequality says y is greater than, so we would shade above that line. For the second line, you are going to have to solve for y. So to solve for y, we subtract the 2x from both sides. So y is less than negative 2x minus 2. Our slope is negative 2 over 1. Our y-intercept is negative 2. To graph that, we go down 2 and apply our slope, down 2, forward 1, down 2, forward 1, or up 2, forward 1, or back 1, sorry, up 2, back 1. It is a dashed line again, and if you notice, these two lines have the same slope. And it says it reads y is less than, so we would shade below. And these two graphs do not intersect or overlap, so our answer to this would be no solution. All right, good luck with your assignment. Your assignment is graphing systems of inequalities.